Gotta pick this up real good. Yeah. It's 11:11 p.m. on May 23rd, 2026. It's a brand new episode of Dylan Knows on Memorial Day weekend, long weekend. Saturday is in the books. Still have Sunday and Monday left, so I still got 2 more days left of my vacation. And I'd like to welcome you to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows, my long-running, almost 13-year-old show, YouTube show. Episode 661, Stephen Colbert is going home. Play on the Hamilton song about George Washington one last time. Stephen Colbert was forced off the air, and he left gracefully and has landed on his feet already, as he should. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll talk about The Boys also ended, and also Johnny Depp gets a new movie date. Memorial Day weekend, my daughter, car issues, rain, bobbleheads, Spider-Man, food, X-Files, Michael Bay, douchebag, King Conan, Anne Hathaway makes a couple appearances, new TV shows, Green Mustard, Neon is balling out right now, and all kinds of fun stuff here. I've got 4 pages on my yellow page, about half page 2, so it's going to be a bit shorter as usual. I've been doing a lot more shorter ones, just because I guess there isn't as much news, or I'm just breezing through them pretty easily right now. But yeah, real quick, let's talk about some stuff. At the end of last week's episode, I was telling you about how I was going to go get my daughter, start moving her out from college on Sunday, last Sunday, and that was going to get really, really hot for about 3 days during the beginning of the week, and then it was going to do a almost 360 and be really, really cold. Well, that has happened. We are currently 50 degrees with rain right now. Before I came down here, I was upstairs. I was listening to the rain start, so it was nice to hear that. Yes, it has been a complete rain out for the last 2 or 3 days. Supposed to continue on through the next couple days, but should clear up soon. But we need the rain because we're in a massive drought. It's not going to be enough to break the drought, but we're going to at least have a little bit of a breather from it. It's bad news for my daughter. She is up in New Jersey right now with her friends for a mini vacation before she starts working with me on June 1st. So up at the beach in our city, New Jersey. Probably not going to make it out on the beach until later in the week. So hopefully she'll be able to get some beach time there. But yeah, let me tell you about something. So Sunday I went down to get her, and we had a horrific amount of things that happened on Sunday. Now, my wife was away on camping. If you guys recall from last week's episode, my wife was away camping with the Scouts. They were supposed to do a quick canoe ride Sunday morning, and they would make their way back here, and they would probably be back by about 11 a.m., noon at the latest. She didn't get back till 6:30 p.m. due to issues on the river, not with any of the Scouts or anything like that, just because of this lack of water, and this was before the rain hit. The rivers were much lower than usual, and the canoes could not pass the certain area that they were heading down. So they had to make a decision. So they had to steer off of the river, and then it took forever to get the car down to where they were at, load up all the canoes, drive to the canoe place, wait in line to return the canoes, pack everything up, and then head home. And so it was a long, long day for her. So if all was going according to plan, before we found out about all this stuff, she would have gotten home by about 12, and then about 3 o'clock we would have headed down, got my daughter's stuff from her dorm, moved her out, and she would have been home. But that didn't happen. So I ended up saying, I'll go get some stuff. I'll make a couple of trips. I'll go down about 5 o'clock, get what I can, and then we can go take a second trip either in the van and move her out. If that's the case, that's how it wants to work. We can do that. So I go down by myself to go get her. I text her that I'm there waiting, and she pauses for a little bit. She says, I'll be down in a second. She comes down. She says, I just threw up. I was like, oh, no. She said, I woke up with a fever today, just haven't been feeling good, and I just threw up, so I'm not 100% great. I was like, okay, let me just get the stuff, and we'll move you out, and you can either stay home, stay at the dorm for another day, or you can come home with us and just be miserable there. She did not have to vacate the dorm till Wednesday, so she had time to stay there. She needed to. So she ended up deciding to stay at the dorm, sleep, and just get herself back to normal. Then we would get her on Monday after work. I'd pick her up, go get her, and my wife would come down and we would get her, and all would be easy peasy. So I load up what I can in my car. So I pull out of her parking lot and I take a wide turn and I hear I hit the curb at a wide turn, I guess going a little faster. Maybe I should have, I don't know. But it made a massive gash in one of my tires, so it was deflated entirely. So I had to find a parking spot, rolled into a parking spot, had to call AAA. This was about 5:45 p.m. I did not get back up to Reisterstown until 8:45 p.m. They took my stuff down. It was hard. I didn't exactly know where I was because I hadn't had a chance to take a look about the area. I just knew it was Hilltop Drive or whatever it was. And so they wrote something down and they texted their pickup guys to come pick me up. So I had to wait and wait and wait. Did I get a call from the tow company? I did get a text from AAA saying they're on the way. Here's your incident number. So if you need to refer back to it, here's what it is. So about an hour or so in, they sent me something that says they're about 76 minutes away. I was like, oh my God, it's almost another hour and a half. I was like, oh, it's an hour and 16 minutes. So, okay, that's fine. So I was chilling out for another. So I get there and then I get another call from them saying we're about 20 minutes out. I was like, okay. And then I got another text almost immediately saying that they weren't going to get there until 8:48 and 9:18 p.m. So I was going to go with the guy who called me directly, said they're about 20 minutes out. And so then I got a text again that showed me his progress. It was 12 to 17 minutes out. It's like, okay, that's good. So I kept refreshing it. It kept saying 12, 17 minutes, 12, 17 minutes. So each minute was going by, still said 12, 17 minutes. So it was like, oh my God, what is going on? So then eventually I checked again, said 6 minutes and then down to like 3 minutes. And they said, okay, we're at your vehicle. Come to your vehicle. It's like, you're not here. I'm staying in my vehicle. So I called them and they're like, no, he's by your car. And he's like, no, you're not. He's not, because I'm by my car. Yeah. So I had to somehow get in connection with the driver and tell him exactly where I was. And so they were about a half mile away from where I was supposed to be. So they drove down, picked me up. And then it was about 8:30, I guess. It might have been about 8:15, I suppose, 8:20. And then we got onto the highway, and then there is construction going on. So it's slow going through 695. And then I get up to Mr. Tire about 8:45. I let my wife know when I was going to be up there. So she picked me up with the van. We had to empty the car of all of my daughter's college stuff that I was able to get and put into her car. And then she drove me back home. Had to leave my keys with a message saying I'll be back at 7:30, which is when Mr. Tire opened. I also left a message on their voicemail that I needed a tire changed. So I go up there about 7:30 the next day on Monday. So I'm middle of my big project at work. So I have to call them saying I'm not going to, don't know when I'm going to be in. They open at 7:30. Hopefully it won't be too late. And then I get there right when they open. They're like, yeah, my tire guy didn't show up till 9. It's like, are you kidding me? I said to myself, you're a Mr. Tire Place and your tire guy didn't show up till 9 o'clock. Are you kidding me? It's 7:30 right now, 7:45. So I said, okay, fine. I'll be back at 9 o'clock. So I go walk down, get some breakfast at Chick-fil-A, and then walk to the park that's right there across the street from it, the Mr. Tire, and walk around the park for a little while. And this is part of the hot days, so it's hot and yucky. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm worried about what's going to happen. And then 9 o'clock rolls around, and so I start walking back over. I get there about 9:10, and my car's tire's fixed. I was like, I didn't say anything, but I was like, oh, it's already fixed. It's like, yeah. So I don't know if the tire guy showed up early and fixed it, or if they said it would be done by 9 o'clock. I don't know, but regardless, I got it done, and then the rest of the week has been okay. So my wife took the day off because she'd had a rough day on Sunday. So she went down on Monday and moved my daughter out, and she's better now. She celebrated her 1 year anniversary with her boyfriend yesterday, and now she's up in Jersey, as I said, where it's going to be raining all week for the most part. So her vacation up there, but she'll be back by next Thursday, I think. So fun times this past weekend. Luckily, we have nowhere to go this weekend, so tomorrow I have absolutely no plans. Probably do a list show or two for my other shows that I do. Play some Fortnite. Maybe do something around the house. I need to put up some pictures from when I took all the Christmas decorations down, but then put our pictures back up. Organize clothes or Blu-rays or whatever. I got dinner prep. We're going to do tacos tomorrow, so all kinds of stuff. So nothing really going on tomorrow, so that'll be a nice day. So that's what's going on. So that's what happened to me. What's going on this weekend? No plans on doing anything. No picnics, no anything. I think on Monday, I think my wife and her scouts are going to do an event at the Reisterstown cemetery over here near the library. So that'll be good. So Stephen Colbert had his last episode of his show. He was forced out by the pedophile in charge after he was made fun of by Stephen Colbert. And he put pressure on the owner of CBS, who was a MAGA guy, and said that the reason why they canceled him because his ratings and costs were too much the ratings were down. The cost too much for CBS. Stephen Colbert is the highest rated late night show on late night television, has been for years. And maybe it might cost some money to make a show, but he makes enough money back in advertising that you're not really losing much money, despite how expensive you claim it is. But they did this back in the fall, so he's been able to go all out, burned everything down, and had a amazing, fun, wild last episode. Showed he was having a blast dancing with his wife, all his co-workers, and the studio audience, and just having a blast itself in general. And getting lots of people talking about how great he was and how good, which he was. He was is a decent human being. And then, we know because he's so good and he's so popular, he has his pick of anything he wants to do. So he'll probably show up eventually. And the funny thing is, he showed up almost 24 hours later after his last episode on a public access show in Michigan, where he just did he did a show of his late show with Jack White as his musical director and Jeff Daniels as his host, and then did a sketch where they were burning stuff in a dumpster and asked if it was okay for the fire marshal. And Marshall Mathers, also known as Eminem, came and said it's all good for him, and they burned the stuff up. So that's kind of interesting, and I have to check it out. Stephen Colbert has also started a YouTube channel, so maybe I get him on the show. Yeah, right. But yeah, he has YouTube, so I'm gonna look it up and I'm subscribed to that. He probably already has over 1 million subscribers. His final episode brought in 7.6 million views, which is more than anything the pedophile in charge has ever done. So yeah, it's good. So he's gonna land on his feet. He's fine. I never watched this show, but this show also ended this week. The Boys on Prime. I never liked the comic that it's based on, and just never got into the show. So, but that did end though. But no fear. The prequel Voight Rising is going to be coming here soon, and we got our first trailer for that this week. So there we go. Show how stupid people are. Michael Bay, who's a fucking tool, one of the worst directors ever, is next film. He's going to be making a film about the rescue of 2 American pilots behind enemy lines in Iran, based on a true story about an airplane that got shot down in Iran, and the people who came in and saved them during the middle of a big war with Iran that just happened recently. And this all just supposedly happened recently. The matter is, it never happened. It was all propaganda stuff, and he's just leaning into the propaganda because he's a fucking tool and a piece of shit as it is anyway. So good luck on that, making any money, asshole. I think, and speaking of assholes, I think Mel Gibson's sequel to his Jesus movies, he's split into 2 parts. The first part has been moved from its like April date, the March date right before Easter, to after Easter, which makes no sense whatsoever. It's going to be sometime in May. So the first part has been moved from March to May. So I don't give a rat's ass. I'm not going to watch it. Morons will. So we'll see. So once it moved from its March 26th spot in 2027, Johnny Depp and Penelope, I forget her name, Penelope Cruz, I think, movie Day Drinker, which is a supernatural revenge thriller, is going to be set for 3/26/27 now, which is the Friday before Easter, I believe, because Easter is early this year, next year. Which kind of sucks, but can't control that. Avatar: The Last Airbender, based on the anime, is doing a live action thing for Netflix. Its season 2 trailer, they showed a new one. It's set debut June 25th. I got to tell you this story too. Here's 2 more stories before I continue on here. I had a senior moment today. I went and got milk for my son, and I looked at the date of the expiration. It was June 7th, or to remove from the freezer, June 7th. I was like, wow, that's almost a full month away from when I bought it. And I was completely flabbergasted that it was June 7th. Oh my God, it was almost a full month. How could that be? That's crazy. Then I got home and just something popped in my head. It's like, wait a second, it's May 23rd. So it actually fits the 2-week window. June 1st is in almost 2 weeks. So yeah, it fits perfectly. So I had that issue, and I had another one. Oh yeah, and then I want to tell you a story about what happened at work on Friday. I have a playlist that I play. It's my weekend playlist. It's like upbeat type of music and things going. I had Fine Young Cannibals Groove Thing. I call it Groove Thing. I think it's Good Thing, but it sounds like it's a Groove Thing. And I play this every Friday at work. So just so happens that a salesman comes by, and he always seems to come by when I'm playing that song. And he's told me the story a couple times about how he grew up in a cul-de-sac, and a guy who liked to work on RC cars loved Fine Young Cannibals. So he would put these giant speakers out when he was working in his garage and just blast Fine Young Cannibals, and they knew that he was working in there. So we're chit-chatting, the song ends, and it goes on to my next one. I think it was Stevie Wonder. And he's walking back to his office. So he goes past my area, not my shipping area, but the area where I do my work next to my boss's cubicle. I have a radio playing up there for a local radio station up here. They immediately played Good Thing as soon as the salesman walked by. He's like, Dylan, they're playing your song. I was like, they just on the radio. So I was like, what? So I walked to the radio, and yeah, they were playing the song. It's the thing is they don't usually play that song on that radio station. They're doing their Memorial Day 80s weekend, so they're pulling out all their 80s music. So that's just a wild sort of story. Something I've always grown up with was The Amazing Spider-Man. He's always one of my favorites, and I was not aware that this was coming, but apparently Amazing Spider-Man issue 1000 will be hitting in September. It no longer is as big of a deal because they've gotten away from regular numbering also. So what they do is, so you had, when Spider-Man started back in 63, he did all the way up. So they did, like numbers 1 to like, it was like 400 or 500 or something like that. And then when they ended that series, when the writer ended his run on there, they decided that they would start over with a fresh number 1, because that's the trend that they did in the mid 2000s, is that they would restart popular series. They did that with Batman. They did that with Detective Comics. So, but they would keep the legacy numbering periodically. So say it ended with 532 and then they start with a new number 1, that would be number 1, but it would also be issue 533, and they continue with that. So every new creative team that came on to Spider-Man or any comic nowadays, it seems, they have to have a whole brand new number 1 to restart. So it might only go on maybe 60 issues. And then they're like, okay, we're going to restart it at number 1 again. But they still do the legacy numbering when it gets to the big numbers, the 500, 600, 700, 800s, 900, something like that. So 1000's coming up here in September. And they're going to be doing a big thing, even though technically it no longer really is 1000, because they just stopped doing the numbering. That's why I'm never going to stop my numbering. I'm at episode 661. So I'm never going to go, you know what, I think you need to start over again and do a new number 1. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep going and see how far I can go like that. And that's why I said before also that episode 666 falls literally on my birthday this year, which is on a Saturday. So pretty cool, huh? All right, moving on. The Pittsburgh Pirates are giving away a Dr. Robbie bobblehead from the popular TV show The Pit. They do that a lot. We did a Tupac Shakur one at the Orioles recently, so it's a fun little thing to get people there. Connie, a book about the story of The Godfather from Connie's perspective, is coming, and Paramount has bought the rights already to make a movie version of it. So can't get enough The Godfather, I guess. Tom Hardy has been fired from Mobland after the 2nd season. No word why, but that's an interesting thing. The X-Files, I Want to Believe, which was the 2nd movie that they did not do as well as the first one, will be getting a director's cut to make it more scary. Is set to appear on Disney Plus, or it could be Hulu. I don't know. They're calling Hulu Disney Plus now, on June 11th. So keep that in mind. Ginger Snaps, which was a great indie werewolf movie about 2 women who are werewolves, is getting a streaming TV series as well. IMAX is looking to sell their company. I don't know exactly to who or what, but the people behind IMAX are getting ready to sell. So that could be interesting to look forward to in the future. Character actor Jason Clarke is set to join the cast of Heat 2, which is presently in pre-production, has not started filming yet. Netflix's popular show Emily in Paris is set to end with season 6. I think season 5 is about ready to get released here. I think they're just started filming season 6, so that's the last one. Universal Studios to do a Sinners-themed house for their Halloween Horror Nights. Oh, it's never too early to talk about Halloween. So that's kind of cool. They're going to be doing the rave bar that the Smoke and Stack did in Sinners, and have the vampires in there. So that'd be interesting. The Adventures of Cliff Booth, the sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that is not directed by Quentin, but will be written by Quentin and directed by David Fincher, and stars Brad Pitt's character Cliff Booth from the movie, has now shifted from a summer release to take the place of Narnia. Remember last week or 2 weeks ago, Narnia said that they were shifting from Thanksgiving of this year to February of next year. So Venture Clip Booth has decided, and Netflix have decided they're going to move that movie from the summer to the Thanksgiving Day window. Will they have a 2-week window, which also includes IMAX before it's released? It'll be the 2-week window of Thanksgiving, the same date Narnia was supposed to come out, on IMAX, and then it'll be released on Netflix in December. I might wait to watch that on Netflix. I like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I really not in a huge desire to see a sequel. So we'll see. I mean, I'll see it, but just not movie theaters probably. First look at the Westies. J.K. Smith and Titus Welliver set to star on a TV show, 1980s crime drama, set to hit July 12th on MGM+. Quinta Brunson to play Betty Boop in a film about her creation. A lot of people, again, racist assholes, are freaking out because Quinta Brunson is black. Betty Boop is white, technically black and white. You really can't tell. It could be a light-skinned black woman. She supposedly was a cartoon version of, I believe, Josephine Baker, who was more of a light-skinned black woman. I have no issue with this. It's just weird that they're making a live-action version of it, but you know what? Go for it, man. I don't care. Mandalorian and Grogu did $12 million in Thursday previews, which is decent. But of course, all the punters like it did less than Han Solo's movie. Whatever. Everyone's just freaking out. The Star Wars fans are one of the most toxic fan bases out there. It's set to probably take over #1, and everything I've heard from everybody is that it's not a spectacular, groundbreaking film. It's just a fun little film, perfect indeed for the summertime, and they don't understand why, you can just why not just have fun at the movies and watch a cool sci-fi adventure film with characters whatever. Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things is joining the cast of the Peaky Blinders spinoff. He's kept himself busy. He's also in a movie that I think I'll talk about a little later down the line. I can't remember the name of it right now, but he is in a movie coming out here soon here too. Neon is having quite the week. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but they are set to acquire the Cliffhanger reboot, which I did not know was up for grabs. I knew late or beginning of this year they were looking for distribution, and they found it in this sort of secondary sort of distributor, not one of the big ones, and they set it for an end of August release. And now we find out that they need a new distributor because the executives have left, and the ones that took its place don't want that movie. So it looks like Neon is going to be acquiring the rights to that. So we'll still hit the August deadline probably. Courtside is being developed. It's going to be a sports rom-com set in the world of pro women's basketball, and will actually have actual pro women basketball players playing roles, and it might be cameos, but they'll be playing roles in it. Christina Hendricks and Naomi Harris are cast in Reputation, a BBC legal drama. We are finally, as of now, it's what we're hoping that seems to be moving in the right direction, but we are finally getting King Conan. Arnold Schwarzenegger made a name for himself back at 82 when he starred in the Conan the Barbarian film. Did very well, became a cult classic. They made a sequel to it called Conan the Destroyer, which did not do as well. And his character in the Red Sonja movie with Brigitte Nielsen was supposed to be Conan, but there were some rights issues, so they just made it up to be a completely different character, but he was playing Conan in that one as well. And he's been talking about wanting to do King Conan for a while, and he was supposedly going to set that up at Carolco back in the early 90s, which was the hottest new distributor, but it got bankrupted real quickly because they were spending so much money on these films. And so the King Conan sort of disappeared. Christian McQuarrie, who wrote Usual Suspects and has been the writer-director for the last few Mission Impossible movies, is now going to be writing and directing the movie, and Arnold has signed on for it. And in order to get ready for it, it will be set for filming in 2027. So if I'm going to get King Conan, I think it's about freaking time. It's going to be great to see that. I think Jason Momoa did a good job as Conan. I think he should probably get another shot at it, but probably not. So he probably won't do that, but this will be fun to see that. Green mustard will be coming to your store soon in honor of the Minions movie. They're going to be doing a Minions yellow mustard and a green mustard. The yellow mustard, of course, for the Minions. The green one's for the bad guys of the movie. This is very reminiscent of the back in the late 90s. And I actually kind of, maybe early 2000s, I think my wife was involved in it a little bit. I kind of liked the purple ketchup they had. So you would get ketchup on your hot dog hamburger. It'd be purple. They had they had blue, they had green, and other colors of ketchup. And it was really kind of cool. And this is kind of what this is. I'm not a mustard fan, but for those who do, hey, you get yourself green mustard. Fortnite is looking at what Pokemon Go did, and they're doing a community day on May 30th. Their new season ends on June 5th. So in order to honor that, they're going to be doing a community day event on next Saturday, the 30th. We get 2 free umbrellas, a Silver Surfer ink or whatever. I can't think of what it's called right now. And a potential skin. Don't know exactly what you're going to have to do to get all that stuff, but it's going to be trying to get everybody to come out and play on Fortnite and do sort of events and stuff like that. So it'd be kind of cool. Anniversary, The Empire Strikes Back debuted 46 years ago this week. You'll see lots of Star Wars stuff debuted this week. The true actual Star Wars Day is May 25th, which is on Monday. Death this week, Kyle Busch, NASCAR star, died at the age of 41 this week. Radio Silence, who I think did Scream 6, is set to direct a Choose Your Own Adventure movie, which I don't understand. Are they going to be able to make you choose your own adventure in the movie theater, or are you just going to take one of the stories that was what Choose Your Adventure books were about and make a movie about it? I don't know. We'll find out, but that is in the works and is coming your way soon. Hubba Bubba flavored water. Hubba Bubba is a bubblegum flavor. They're going to be releasing 4 flavored waters here. No date yet, but it'll be coming soon. Brad Metzler and Chris Eliopoulos have been doing historical graphic novels for kids in their I Am series for years. They were doing it back when my kids were younger, and we got a bunch of them from the library, and they bought a bunch of them because they're really, really good. They're historical, but they also have really cute pictures from Chris Eliopoulos. So he's done 32 of them so far. The newest one's been announced that I have to pick up now. It's called I Am Theodore Teddy Roosevelt. It's due out in June, I think. So I got to pick that up myself because I like Teddy Roosevelt and I like those books. So that'd be cool. We're getting a new edition of Gail Simone's Red Sonja run omnibus. There was an omnibus that did her entire run, which is now worth hundreds of dollars. They're going to be doing a new version of it to make it more affordable for people to access it. Pizza Hut Classic to give us back the 1990s style versions of the Pizza Huts with the chandeliers and the red cups and the Pac-Man games and the salad bar and all this stuff. Nostalgia just is sometimes just way too much. I did a whole show about nostalgia. I think that's time to move forward. Don't keep looking back. But apparently it's going to be a big deal. People are already talking about it. It's set to be in 27 shops, including some in Maryland. So we'll see which ones hit. And they're not all going to be done, but some are going to be done. Kerry Washington is set to star in an adaptation of What Remains for Hulu. Tom King is going to rejoin his Vision creative team for a creator-owned Dark Horse comic called The Six of Us, set in 1990s TV comedies with a film noir feel to it. The cover looks like he's going to be kind of making fun of the Friends sort of thing, 1990s, as I said, sitcoms, but with a film noir thing. He said it's one of the best things he's ever written. It's intrigued me enough that I may have to check it out when it comes out. No date on that yet. This is one that I flew under the radar, but it might be interesting to think about. Film noir is one of my favorite genres. The fact that Tom King is doing like a film noir sort of comic book. We've got Spider Noir coming out May 27th, which is in 4 days, which I'm ecstatic for. Cannot wait to watch that with Nicolas Cage on Prime. And then Cannes is this week, and Andy Garcia went to Cannes with his film it's his passion project. It's called Diamond, and he wrote it, produced it, directed it, and stars in it along with, listen to this cast, Brendan Fraser and Bill Murray. And it's a modern day crime drama and film noir that was based on a 20-year-old story idea that he helped his daughter develop for a school assignment. So he was assisting his daughter in writing this assignment, came up with this idea for her, and then decided to build it up and turn it into a movie. And he'll be playing the private investigator, Diamond. It's getting good reviews at Cannes already, and I may have to check it out when it's released. Last week, I think I told you, or 2 weeks ago, Ryan Gosling was supposed to be set to do the Daniels new film. The Daniels are the ones that directed Everything Everywhere All at Once, got them Oscars, and also like that got a lot of big deal, and they haven't done a movie since then. So now their next movie is in the works right now, and they wanted Ryan Gosling to be in it, but unfortunately he dropped out. So they're trying to find a new body to take his place. It appears they've picked up Matt Damon to star in it now. I like Matt Damon, so I think that should be pretty decent to see whatever they're going to do. So we'll check that out when that comes. But it's good to see that Matt Damon is replacing Ryan Gosling in the Daniels new film. Michael Chiklis is set to join Charlize Theron in Tyrant, a Amazon culinary thriller movie that is currently being made right now. We got our first look at Victorian Psycho and the Victorian Psycho trailer. I didn't watch it, but you can check it out for yourself. John Carroll Lynch, Mina Suvari, Matt Fraser, Berto Colombo, all are set to return for American Horror Story Season 13. Calypso, which does these lemonades that are pretty fancy, are getting into the Sour Wedges candy thing, flavored from their various lemonades. Jones and Soda is also getting into the red, white, and blue 4th of July, 250th anniversary sort of thing, with a red, white, and blue set of their soda, which you can only get at certain locations. This was originally thought to be AI, but it's not. Bush's Baked Beans are also getting into the 250th anniversary thing by doing crazy-ass flavors of Bush's beans that I guess will be available for everybody at a limited time. They're doing Bush's apple pie flavored baked beans, which doesn't sound appetizing. Rocket Pop, which doesn't sound appetizing, flavored baked beans. And Dill Pickle, which also doesn't sound appetizing, baked beans. But they're going to be coming soon. M&M's newest flavor is going to be banana nut bread. They're always pushing new flavors all the time, so we got that coming soon. Modern Family was a hugely popular sitcom back in the mid-2000s. Ariel Winter, who played the middle child, revealed this week that she has a new roommate. It's not a physical or sexual or relationship thing. They're just roommates in the sense that, you know, they are renting out the same place or live in the same building and renting it out, and they're friends. Is her co-star who played her brother Luke. Don't know his name, but they are now officially roommates in real life. Not romantically involved, just actual roommates. And it's weird. It's like a brother and sister living together. Jennifer Beals is set to join Bishop for Amazon, a new drama series. The Testaments gets a second season. Jawbreaker, the late 90s Mean Girl inspired sort of, well, actually, Mean Girls probably inspired by it because Jawbreaker came out before Mean Girls. Film will be getting a musical adaptation. Not surprising. A Hello Kitty movie has picked up directors Derek Jr. and Oshina, set for a July 28th, 2028 release. So got a little ways to wait for that. But they do have a director now. 2 directors, actually. We got our final trailer for Masters of the Universe set to debut on June 5th. Jesus. The first previews of it has come out. The early views of it say it's going to be a big fun. They think it's going to be a sleeper hit movie. A lot of people are afraid that it's going to go the way of a really, really good film that will not do well at the box office and will not get the sequels that it deserves. And then 10, 15 years down the line, people will revisit and say, holy shit, this is a great movie. Why isn't there a sequel? That's what they're afraid of right now, because right now it's trending not to do very well. It's trending not to be number 1 because it's coming up against Scary Movie 6, which is unfortunately trending to be number 1 on June 5th. So I kind of want to see Master of the Universe. I know my brother-in-law is going to go see Masters of the Universe with his family, so I think that's kind of cool. And I kind of want to see it also, so we'll see. Bitter Christmas is Pedro Almodovar's newest film. It hit Cannes this week, so we'll probably be seeing it soon enough. We also have a Netflix film called Little Brother with John Cena, due to come out June 26th. I did not see what it's about. Looks like a comedy, so we'll see. But the trailer's out. I haven't get a chance to watch it. Anniversaries: Twin Peaks: The Return, or Twin Peaks Season 3, debuted 9 years ago this week. Terminator Salvation, a decent idea for a sequel, but just never mounted to anything, debuted 17 years ago this week with Christian Bale. And Godzilla, the shitty American version of it that Roland Emmerich directed after Independence Day, debuted 28 years ago this week. Absolutely shitty movie, by the way. Death this week: Benoit Rousseau, voiceover actor, passed away this week as well. All right, so that is done. A Billy Joel biopic is in the works right now called Billy and Me. Not surprising. Danielle Brooks is set to star in American Comfort, a soul food restaurant comedy from Kenya Barris and Oprah Winfrey on Apple TV. That sounds like a decent idea for a show. Rhea Seaborn is set to join the cast of Running from Gavin O'Connor. I guess this is a new movie. Francesca Scorsese is set to join Mr. and Mrs. Smith Season 2. Don't know which Scorsese she is, but she is one of them. A Nightmare Before Christmas sequel, apparently, according to Disney, is on the way and will be here in time for Halloween. I don't know if that is a full movie or could just be a short. I'm assuming it's probably going to be a short film because we would have been hearing about a Nightmare Before Christmas sequel. This is the first I heard of it, but it's from a source that is fairly reliable, so we'll find out more when the time comes. Remember, I told you that Neon's been having a week. Well, Cannes was this week, and they announced the winner of the Palme d'Or today. It's Fjord, which was released by Neon. It's the 7th ever Palme d'Or for Neon. Sebastian Stan is the main star in that one, I think. Shonda Rhimes is set to do a Grey's Anatomy spinoff set in Texas for 2027. We had our first look at Couture. which is an Angelina Jolie movie about fashion designing, set to release on June 26th. Mug Float's Vanilla Howler is said to be out in the next week or so. Mug Root Beer is releasing in their floats line, the Vanilla Howler, so it should be pretty good. If I see one around, I will try to get one, and we will do it live on the show, hopefully next week. Peanut butter spreads with candy is a new thing coming out, with mini M&M's flavored peanut butter spread, Twix flavored peanut butter spread, and Snickers flavored peanut butter spread with candy. So it'll be like peanut butter but with candy in it. Okay. This is a weird one. Jet Puffed Marshmallows is getting into the soda business. They're releasing 3 sodas, strawberry marshmallow flavored, which could be interesting, original just straight up marshmallow flavored soda, and root beer marshmallow flavor. Again, that could be intriguing flavors. I might actually check that out myself if I can find it somewhere. I think I'm going to go to Walmart tomorrow. It's not going to be out yet, but I want to go to Walmart. I want to get the Red, White, and Dew 18-pack set that has Code Red, Voltage, and Whiteout in it. So that should be pretty good. But yeah, Jet Puff Soda, I'll keep an eye out for it. I want to try it. They sound interesting. Don't know if it'll be good anyway. Hershey's Chocolate World actually does have their own special sort of stuff as well up there right outside of Hershey Park. They do have food there, and one of the things they're releasing this summer is the Reese's Satay hot dog. Now, if you've never had chicken satay, it's like a chicken in a peanut sauce sort of thing. It's absolutely delicious. My sister-in-law makes a really good peanut satay, or chicken. It's called chicken satay, actually. It's the chicken in this peanut butter sauce. So they're doing a hot dog in this sort of peanut butter satay sauce, but they're going to be using Reese's peanut butters for the peanut butter satay sauce. I'm actually kind of intrigued by that also. The newest trend now is popcorn buckets, specialized popcorn buckets for movies, which cost like $50 to $100 sometimes, which are specially designed popcorn boxes for big time movies. And we got 2 announced. One is the Backrooms is coming out next weekend, and they're releasing a hazardous uniform one where the popcorn's in the back of the hazardous uniform outfit. And here's the one that's going to cause some controversy, because we know Scary Movie does a lot of stuff with marijuana and bong, stuff like that. They're doing a bong popcorn bucket for Scary Movie. So this is an interesting teaming. And of course, might be another reason to get Apple TV, because I talked about getting that for when Ted Lasso pops up in August. But Ben Stiller and Mike Judge from Beavis and Butthead and Office Space fame are set to team up for a show called Protective Custody. And Ben Stiller will be starring in it, not producing it like he does Severance. He will actually be starring in this with Mike Judge at the helm as well. Could be really interesting. To be continued. It's no secret that Donkey Kong is one of my favorite characters in the Nintendo Mario Brothers world, and Lego and Nintendo are teasing a Donkey Kong Lego set, so I might have to check that out for when that comes down the line periodically. The James Webb Telescope has photographed the exact moment that a star was born. No, not the movie, but an actual star in space. Poirot is one of the most famous detectives in Agatha Christie's mystery books, and is one of the most famous detectives in history. A new Poirot series is in the works right now for BBC, so we'll be getting new Poirot with a new actor playing Poirot. Iman Vellon, who played Miss Marvel in the MCU, is set to write a creator-owned comic book called Chachu for Image. That's pretty cool. Anniversaries this week. Alien 3 debuted 34 years ago this week. There's actually a director's cut out there that everybody says is much better than the actual film. Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull debuted 18 years ago this week. Crap. Encino Man debuted 34 years ago this week. Underrated. Lilo and Stitch, the live-action version, debuted 1 year ago this week. X-Men Days of Future Past debuted 12 years ago this week. Decent. And The Shining debuted 46 years ago this week. Overrated. Deaths this week. Tom Kane is the biggest one probably here. He's the veteran voiceover actor, most famous for Powerpuff role and Yoda in the Clone Wars. He passed away this week. Bill Davidge, an NHL announcer, passed away this week as well. Griswold Grizz Chapman, a 30 Rock actor, died at the age of 52, which is how old I am, which is crazy. Rob Bass, a rapper who sang the song It Takes Two, died at the age of 59 this week. And Bill Wise, the voice of Knuckles on the video game for Sonic, passed away this week as well. All right, 1.5 pages left, and we're about 50 minutes in. I should just clear 1 hour. Excuse me. It is now officially Sunday. It is 12:01 a.m. here on May 24th, and you're still watching Dylan Knows, episode 661. Stephen Colbert is coming home, and I'm almost done. Prime has a Creed spinoff series called Delphi, and the cast has been announced. Benji Santiago, Jua Castaner, Damien Bichir, Andre, don't know his last name, and another Andre Royo, Sophia Black Delia, Victoria Vorakotoitis, and Wood Harris are all starring in this. Don't know much about it, but it's a Creed spinoff, so it's going to be boxing probably. The Fourth Monkey, a book series, is set to be turned to a TV series from Sylvester Stallone's production company. Chips Deluxe Chips chocolate chip cookies from Keebler are set to release a Nestle Crunch cookie that'll have Nestle Crunch chocolate mixed in between in the middle of the chocolate chip cookie, which should be really good. Lily Reinhardt is set to join Melissa Leo in The Mannequin. Anne Hathaway is busy. She's executive producing an Ella Enchanted TV series with Wednesday Vibes, which is be in the works at Disney Plus right now. Ella Enchanted was her second movie she made after Princess Diaries that sort of got her into the mode, and then she went on to do Princess Diaries too. It's like, I got to get all she was getting offered were like princess roles and stuff like that. Good girl role. She wanted to do more, so she expanded that. But for her return as executive producer is decent. Matthew Lillard and Frank Welker are set to reprise their voice roles as Shaggy and Scooby in the new anime, which I talked about last week, called Yokozo Scooby-Doo, which, if you remember, is an anime version of Scooby-Doo, but instead of the Mystery Machine Gang, it's basically going to have Shaggy and Scooby doing a food tour of Japan and get involved with a bunch of supernatural stuff in Japan, which is known for a lot of really cool supernatural stuff, and a group of kids that investigate it. So the fact that Matthew Lillard and Frank Welker are going to be doing the voices for that, they did it for the movies. Frank Welker has been the voice of Scooby-Doo forever. Matthew Lillard just came on once he started making the live action movies, but he also has done more recently a lot of the animated versions where he's doing the voice of Shaggy as well. So it's good to see that they're doing all that, which is good. Amanda Seyfried, Stephanie Hugh, Sue Ali Wong, and Bette Midler have been cast in Steps, a new animated film about evil stepmothers and fairy godmothers. Yeah, I talked about that last week. The final trailer for Spider Noir is awesome. I am dying to see this show. I've got 3 days to go. Set to debut on May 27th, which is Tuesday. Right? No, Wednesday. Because Sunday's the 24th, Monday's the 25th, Tuesday's the 26th, Wednesday's the 27th. Yep. Voicemails for Isabel. I talked about that last week. We finally get a trailer for it, set to debut on June 19th on Netflix. It actually looks like a decent romantic comedy. I might have checked that out myself. Netflix is doing pretty decent with their movies recently, and there's probably a whole list I need to check out myself. So dill pickle, zesty ranch, garlic and herb, and buffalo style shredded cheese is going to be released soon. They're going to be flavored like that, and you can use that as cheese that's flavored like those flavors for your meal, stuff like that. Amazon is set to release a movie called Vibe, but in Indian cinemas only. Indian cinemas only. It's an action comedy. It's probably their attempt to break into Bollywood a little bit. Very Young Frankenstein is been picked up for series on Hulu, starring Zach Galifianakis, and Mel Brooks is a producer on it, so he's okay with it. It is considered to be one of the best scripts of pilot season. So it has been pushed to series. Gaten Matarazzo is also not resting on his laurels after Stranger Things. He's set to go back to what he loves to do, which is musical theater. He's set to lead a revival of Rent in the West End of London this fall. So that's actually a decent idea. It'll do very popular over there. You bring it back to the United States on Broadway, you get Gaten on there as well. He'll have a blast. Fruity Pebbles Peeps are the newest Peep style out there now. Beer cheeseburger and beer braised steak from Pringles are set to be released here this summer. Shirley Temple Dum Dums, the lollipop Dum Dums. Marshmallow fudge stripes from Keebler. Turkey Hill root beer float ice cream, and the second wave of Pokemon Hershey's Kisses are all set to come out in the next couple weeks. Wendy's is famous for their square burgers, and they always say it's fresh, not frozen. But they decided, you know what? People love our burgers so much, we'll release frozen versions of them that they can put on their grill and make their own Wendy's burgers on their grill. So we'll be getting those soon as well. Laura Linney is set to join the cast of Lanterns. We also get a brand new trailer for Lanterns, which was a definitely interesting looking. Get a little bit more idea of what they have planned for it, a little bit more action with the Green Lantern rings, and looking a lot darker than people were expecting it to, and looking more like a down-to-earth saga and not as an outer space sort of Green Lantern thing, which I think people were hoping for. Her Private Hell trailer also stars Charlie Heaton. I talked about that earlier. That debuted this week as well. Death Becomes Her, the musical, is one of the rare musicals based on a movie that has not been very successful. It is shutting down in June on Broadway, so look for a revival to happen in about 2 to 3 years. You always love these sort of stories, and I've talked about this before, how horror is probably the most successful genre out there. You can make a horror movie for $1 million. No, it'll probably make $5 to $10 million in its opening weekend, if not more than that, depending on how good the horror movie is and what else is out there, and you've already made a profit. And they're quick and easy to make. There's not that big of a deal to do it. There's not a lot of major things to do. And there's a need and want for it. The movie Obsession, which was made for $750,000, debuted this week with $23.1 million. That is a huge profit. A movie that cost $750,000, making $23.1 million. It's made an additional $20-some million this week. Could very well be, with worldwide release, the first ever $100 million movie, which was made for under $1 million. So good on that. Good on you. You keep going, horror. Iowa man sues Nintendo after being denied Pokemon Professor status. That's just a funny little story I thought I wanted to tell you about that. It's kind of interesting. Anniversaries. Revenge of the Sith debuted 21 years ago this week. Mount St. Helens erupted 41 years ago this week. 46 years ago this week. Die Hard with a Vengeance debuted 31 years ago this week. I remember that. It debuted on a Friday. We went to see it on a Saturday, and I graduated college on that Sunday. So that was kind of fun. I remember that distinctly. And Shrek debuted 25 years ago this week. I also remember that too. I did a movie when I was working with the radio station. I did a movie premiere for it up here at Valley Center, and my wife, my girlfriend, and her best friend and her boyfriend all came. We got to watch the movie together, which was a lot of fun. Deaths this week: Mark Furman, the lead detective on the OJ case and who potentially could have planted some evidence and was a racist piece of shit, passed away this week. That's the only one? Okay. Oh, yeah, I missed that one. Braveheart also debuted 31 years ago this week. Yippee. All right. All I got left is a half a page, and then we will move on with our Memorial Day weekend. After only one season, Harry Potter, the TV series, has to recast. They're recasting the actress who played Ginny after season one, though she's barely in season one, so it's hard to see why and how you can replace somebody after barely being in a season. But it had to be done, and there we go. James Franco, who was exorcised out of Hollywood, I can't remember why, back in the mid-2000s, is making a return. He's set to play the villain in the new Rambo prequel coming up here soon. We got our first look at The Punishing with John Boyega and Cara Delevingne. David Arquette, Ever Andrews, Matthias Farrell, Barclay Slan, Jack Chagrin, Josephine Reitman, and Vinny Hacker said join the cast of My Boyfriend is a Demon. Tim Burton is in Cannes this week pitching a top secret film, so it should be interesting to see what that is. As I said, the Lanterns trailer came out, set to debut August 16th on HBO Max. Amazon has gotten the rights to Pumping Black, the cycling film with Jonathan Banks and Natalie Portman, so they'll be releasing it through Amazon's MGM. Hot Pockets minis are a new thing out there with different flavors than usual, including sour cream and onion, cheeseburger, nacho-style beef, barbecue-style chicken, and jalapeno popper flavors. I guess that'll be my last one by default. Before I do my last one, all these deaths just jumped at one time. Anne Robinson, original War of the Worlds actress, passed away at the age of 96. Dame Felicity Lott, a British soprano in the opera, passed away this week as well. Dennis Lecarrier, vocalist for the band Dr. Hook, passed away this week as well. And Clarence Carter, blind soul singer, died at the age of 90 this week. The final story this week: Selena Gomez, Cate Blanchett, and Michael Fassbender are set to make an X-rated occult horror film. Don't know if that's going to fly, and I don't know what would make it a X-rated occult horror film, but three pretty decent-sized actors are going to be involved with it. And the director is the guy who did The Brutalist, which got a bunch of Oscar nominations a couple of years ago. So we'll see how that works out. Excuse me. And I'm done. So thank you for watching. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Don't forget what Memorial Day is for the soldiers who gave their lives protecting our country. They would be embarrassed to see how it looks now, but we can't do much about that right now. So go out, enjoy your 3-day weekend. Weather's not going to be great, but they'll find something to do, and it's the official kickoff to summer. I will probably be doing a couple of top 10 lists this week, including my top summer movies, meaning films that are based sort of in summer, have summer values and ideas and interesting scenarios, which is a pretty interesting, I think, top list for me. Also plan on getting involved in the anniversary list, like the top, movies that from 25 years ago, top ones from 25 years ago, from 10 years ago, from 30 years ago, stuff like that. So I got a bunch coming up. We'll see. I might have a couple more of these coming out within the next day or two. All right. Thanks. Enjoy yourself. Happy Memorial Day. The official start of summer begins on Monday. June 1st is not that far away, about 8 days away. And we get into, hey, I'm just in time. As I click off, we have to have a quick appearance from Jinx, not Jinx, the old kitty, Pepper Boys. Mm-hmm. No butt pictures today. I get ready to sign off here. Okay, bud. But at least you made an appearance, right? All right. Enjoy your Memorial Day.